Let's take a look now at CA properties. So on computer 1, we have our root CA, and let's take a look at the properties of root CA. So a lot of information here, and it can seem a little confusing at first, so we'll go pretty slow here and make sure we're clear on what we've got here. So in the General tab, we have the name of the CA. It says CA Certificate, Certificate 0. If you click on View Certificate, you'll see that this is the self-signed certificate for the CA itself. So this is the CA certificate. Certification path bears that out. There is no issuing CA except itself. It's a self-signed certificate. Every CA has a CA certificate issued by either a CA from up above, a higher level, or self-signed if it's a root CA. Cryptographic service provider for that certificate and hash algorithm. For policy module, let's click on properties. And for request handling, that is when a certificate request comes into this CA, how do we want to handle that? And the setting is that the request will be set to pending, and an admin must explicitly issue or deny the certificate. And that's what we expect. That's the default behavior for a standalone CA. However, we could change that to certificate template and automatically issue the certificate. That's for enterprise CAs. So normally you leave standalone CAs the way they are. Enterprise CAs, as we'll see, are set to the second one. The Extensions tab lists all of your CDPs, your CRL distribution points. These are the points from which clients can get a copy of the CRL. And you can choose various checkboxes down below as far as do you want the full CRL and Delta CRLs, both, neither. So you've got options here. CRL is published in various places. Also, we have something called the AIA, Authority Information Access. The AIA specifies the locations from which users can obtain the CA certificate. And again, we have a large list here, so it gives clients many ways to get that CA certificate. Let's go on to the Storage tab. Notice configuration information is stored in Active Directory in this case. It tells us where our database and log files are. We can audit our CA with Windows Auditing. However, to do that, we must enable object access in our audit policy. Once that's enabled, we can audit various things here for our CA. Most likely, you would want to audit changes to the CA configuration. That's pretty important. But you can obviously audit other things as well, backup and restore, etc. On the Security tab, this lists what kind of permissions various groups have to the CA. Let's take a look at each of these. It's important to know these permissions for certification. Authenticated users, the only permission they have is to request certificates, which should make sense. Anybody can request a certificate from the CA, but not anybody can come into the CA and actually issue certificates. Let's check out administrators. Administrators have the power to issue and manage certificates, so they can approve or deny certificate requests. They can revoke certificates, manage certificates, and then they can also manage the CA, meaning they can come into the CA properties here and manage the CA. And domain admins and enterprise admins, same thing. So keep in mind when preparing for the exam that the issue and manage certificates permission allows an admin to come in and approve or deny certificate requests. The manage CA permission allows an admin to come into the properties here and manage the CA. And request certificates is given to everyone. Everyone can request a certificate, any authenticated user. Finally, you can right-click your CA, choose all tasks, and we can back up the CA. We get a wizard for this. And what do we want to back up? We can back up the private key and CA certificate. This is a very sensitive information. If someone has this information, they can, in a sense, compromise your CA. So you would want to back that up to a very secure location. Also, you can back up the entire certificate database and log files. Now you specify where you want to back this information up to. We'll click on Browse, and I created a folder called CA Backup for this purpose. This is an empty folder I created called CA Backup. And notice it says the backup directory must be empty. So it is empty. We'll set a password on the backup. And finish it off, and it'll back up our CA. There we go. So you can also right-click and, of course, restore the CA as well. We get a wizard for this. We'll restore the exact same things from the same location. What's the password? To unlock the backup. And we'll finish this off and restore our CA.